Hello everyone, what I'd like to do in this video is show you how to use the trig functions in your calculator and show you how to solve right triangles. Okay, so what we'd like to do, I guess as an example, is we're going to use our calculator to figure out what is sine of 55 degrees, what is cosine of pi over 7, and how about what is cotangent of 17 degrees. Now, what we want to be careful about when using our calculator is we need to tell the calculator whether we're working in degrees or in radians. So let me show you. So I have my TI-84 here. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is make sure you're in the correct mode. So if you look here to the right of the second button, you'll see mode. So you go ahead and push mode, and this menu will come up. If you scroll down, you'll see that there are options to go into degree mode or into radian mode. So if I want to switch to radian mode, I'll highlight over radian and I'll hit enter and I'll be in radian mode. For our first example right here, I want to calculate sine of 55 degrees, so I want to make sure my calculator is in degree mode. So I'll scroll over to degree and hit enter and I'm in degree mode. I'll go ahead and hit second quit. So if I want to use the trig functions, notice here we have sine, cosine, and tangent. So let's start with sine. So we'll go ahead and push sine. If I want to know sine of 55 degrees, I'll simply push 55. I'll close and I'll hit enter. So it looks like sine of 55 degrees. Let's go ahead and round to 3 decimal places, so 0.819. Okay, let's say I want to find cosine of pi over 7. So now we're working in radians, so we need to switch into radian mode. So we'll go over here, we'll push mode, we'll go down, scroll over to radians, hit enter. We're in radian mode, we'll go ahead and second and quit. So what we'll do is we'll now go and push the cosine button. Cosine, now we want to write in pi over 7. So the pi button is right above this caret symbol. Notice it's in blue, so I have to hit the second key first. So I'll hit second, and the caret button, I'll get pi, and I'll write divided by 7, close the parenthesis, hit enter. So cosine of pi over 7 looks to be 0.901 if we're rounding to 3 decimal places. So these are actually approximately. This will be approximately 0.901. For this last one, let's try to get that glare out of there. I'll write it a little bit lower. The cotangent of 17 degrees. So now I need to go ahead and switch into degree mode. So mode, scroll over to degree. And I guess to get out of this menu, you want to hit the quit button, which is right above mode. You want to hit second mode, it'll quit. But the problem here is notice that your calculator does not have a cotangent button. There's only sine, cosine, and tangent. But what we'll do here is remember that cotangent is actually the reciprocal of tangent. So instead of calculating cotangent of 17 degrees, this is equivalent to 1 over the tangent of 17 degrees, which I can now plug in my calculator. So what I'll push is I'll push 1, and then I'll divide by the tangent of 17. And hit enter. And this is going to be 3.271 if we're rounding to 3 decimal places. Okay. So let's go ahead and do an example of solving a right triangle. When we're solving a right triangle, the goal is we want to find all angles and all sides. Okay, so let's start with an example. let's say we're given this triangle. It's a right triangle. Let's say this side length here is 100. Let's say this is 75 degrees. And what we want to do is we need to find the other two sides, and we need to find this other angle. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do this on your own first. Okay, so let's go ahead and first find the angle here. One of the properties of all triangles is that the sum of the three angles of a triangle is always 180 degrees or pi radians. Check out my video for the proof of why that's true. So what we have here is we must have that phi plus 75 plus, this is 90, must all be equal to 180. Okay, so that means that phi, what is that going to be? It's going to be 165 degrees, 90 and 75 will be equal to 180 degrees. So subtracting 165 from both sides, phi is going to be 15 degrees. So we know this here is 15 degrees. Okay. Now we need to find these other two sides. And it's really kind of up to you which one you want to find first. Let's say we want to find side x first, or this side here, which we'll call x. So to do this, we can use our trig functions. I'll show you maybe two different ways to do this. Let's say we're standing right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to think about a trig function that relates these two sides here. So if we're standing here, I know this side length is 100. I'm trying to find the side length x. Well, this is the opposite side, and this is the adjacent side. So we want to think about what trig function relates the opposite side and the adjacent side. It's tangent. So what we know is that tangent of 75 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent, which will be 100 over x. So our goal here is to solve for x. Now whenever you see an equation that has a fraction in it, the thing I always want to do is I want to clear the fractions. I don't know, I've been studying math for a long time, and anytime I can try to avoid fractions, I always do that. So to clear the fractions here, let's go ahead and multiply both sides by x. So these x's here will cancel, and I'll be left with that x times the tangent of 75 degrees will be equal to 100. Just finish solving for x. We'll divide both sides by the tangent of 75 degrees. So we have that x is equal to 100 divided by the tangent of 75 degrees. Let's figure out what this approximately is equal to. So make sure we're in degree mode, so make sure to check that really quick. Okay, I'm in degree mode, so we'll take 100 and we'll divide that by the tangent of 75. If we're rounding to 3 decimal places, I get 26.795. 26.795. So for fun, we didn't have to stand at 75. We could have also stood at 15 degrees. So let's just try this a different way. Let's just say, for example, you're trying to find x, but maybe you were thinking about standing here. So if we're standing here now, instead, this becomes my opposite side, and this is my adjacent side. So I'll have that the tangent of 15 degrees will be, in this case, we'll assume we didn't know this. We didn't know this. would be x over 100. So to solve for x, we'll multiply both sides by 100. So we'll have that x is equal to 100 times the tangent of 15 degrees. Let's plug that into our calculator. We get 100 times the tangent of 15, and we get the same thing. Yes, yes. So we get 26.795. That deserves a smiley face. Okay, so our last job is to find the hypotenuse. Now, we have two options we could do here. Let's go ahead and erase this. One option is I could use the Pythagorean theorem. Since I already know what the lengths of the legs are, I could figure out what the hypotenuse is by using the Pythagorean theorem. So maybe I'll write this as way 1. We'll have that c squared will be equal to 100 squared plus 26.795 squared. So c will be equal to the square root of 100 squared plus 26.795 squared. Let's see what this is. And I'm getting, see that agrees with my notes, I'm getting that c is approximately equal to 103.528. So that's one way to do this. Another way we could do this is we could, again, use our trig functions if we wanted to. Now, again, you could choose whether you stand here or you could choose whether you stand here. Since I already have my picture here, let's say I'm standing at 15 degrees. So here, let's make it easier. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's use 100 since this is an approximate value. So here we would have that the tangent of 15 degrees, or not tangent, we would be using adjacent over hypotenuse. We would be using cosine here. Cosine of 15 degrees will be equal to 100 over c. If you solve for c, c will be 100 divided by the cosine of 15 degrees. Let's plug that into our calculator. 100 divided by the cosine of 15, and we get no way. 103.528. Awesome. Again, you could have maybe stood at 75 degrees if you wanted to. Here, how about if we were related these two sides here, we could say, what would that be? That would be the sine of 75 degrees would be equal to, what would that be? 100 over c. So you could get that c would be equal to 100 over the sine of 75 degrees. And let's plug that into our calculator. 100 divided by the sine of 75. Oh, yes. 103.527. How fun is this? Awesome. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.